How about it?
Dude, I like him for, I don't know, like 5 reasons, but number one, he can talk the cop stuff with us and understand the good, the bad, and the ugly of it, even though he's never done the job.
Yeah, he's been around it for
30-something years. 30-something years.
Yeah.
And then the health side of it, the guy is a wealth of knowledge.
That was why I wanted him on here. Obviously, being on my own, like he said, it's a journey, a personal health journey. Kind of started about the same time jiu-jitsu started for me.
Well, I went a completely different route. Really sorry I took us on a detour.
With
the court and...
that was interesting just on a personal level,
yeah.
just on a professional level. Yeah. That was interesting for me also, hearing his side of it.
Because I've always known Erik, and I've always heard his name, and I've met him a handful of times, but I never knew like exactly his tie. But now it all makes sense.
Yeah, and given for the people listening, they may not find it as interesting, or they may find it really interesting. I personally wanted him on here to talk the health and fitness stuff, but his role with the courts became a really interesting point of the conversation for me.
Yeah, me too.
So what did you think about the health stuff? You've kind of yourself have started on a little bit of a health journey yourself in the last couple months.
Man, he's a wealth of knowledge. He kind of changes the way he describes some stuff as far as like eating and my habits and just changing some little things. Dude, I really think that it's small incremental things, just not overwhelm myself, just kind of one bite at a time. Also, above and beyond that, the dude's just a true spirit animal. Like he just is. He exudes everything. And I mean, I think he's probably a really good boss. I've never talked to anybody that works for him, but like if he lives half of what he talks, he's going to be a really good boss. Kind of a bro's bro for us.
Yeah, I think he's just what you see is what you get.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. I've known Erik for going on 25 years.
Yeah.
And like I said, during the episode, I don't remember not knowing Erik, after I got into law enforcement. We've never worked closely together, but he's always been around, and he's just always been a friendly, good dude. And when he started his training business, I knew he was the go-to to help me get off the ground with it. And, he did wonders for me, helping me get started.
And I remember when he first started, you were kind of like gung-ho into it, and it kind of petered off there because it was hard. I mean, I remember you talking. It was just hard to drinking out of a fire hose, I believe is your exact words.
Yeah.
But then you learned a lot, and then you were able to kind of stack that knowledge.
Yeah, I learned a lot, and I had to dip on the program. Life got to doing life shit, and money got to be a little bit tight. But And to be perfectly honest, that's an excuse as much as anything. I spend as much money on energy drinks as it takes to pay for that fucking program.
It's perspective, bro.
Yeah. My head wasn't in the right place.
Yeah.
When my head got in the right place, I took the information that Erik gave me, when I was in the program with him, and I just started to implement most of it. Not doing it to a T.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to let perfection be the enemy of good.
Correct.
And I think that's a point that I wish we would have hit during the main portion of the episode. That's a problem that a lot of us have along this journey, is if you have someone like Erik that is setting the standard for you, and this is what you need to do. And then if you fail to hold that standard, you get discouraged and you beat yourself up, and then you just fall off the wagon. And I've not done that to myself this go round. I've done pretty fucking good, but I wouldn't say I haven't done perfect. Yeah. I haven't done it all right. I've fucked up and missed workouts and eaten shitty food and done things that I shouldn't have done, but I've implemented the knowledge that Erik gave me at 85%, 80 to 85% probably. And of course I've got an 80 to 85% result. If I'd have done it 100%, I'd get 100% of the result, but 85% of that result is better than no % of that result, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's talking to Erik was good for me in terms of keeping me motivated. Things have started to slow down a little bit with the losing weight and the getting in better shape. So there's a ton of information in here for everybody that's wanting to, get their own health and fitness on track.
Well, I was trying to get your, what'd you say, perfect, the enemy of good, or?
Don't let perfection be the enemy of good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of it, and I thought it was a Churchill quote, and I just looked it up while you were talking, but I don't think it is. But
About perfection being the enemy of good?
well, no, it's kind of the same
Chael
thing.
Sonnen's the one I heard say.
Well, this is like a good plan executed at the right time is better than a perfect plan executed at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing. I would rather do something, and this is where you and I differ when we do projects. I would rather do it at 85% good and then ship it. This is where you and I butt heads.
Mm-hmm.
You want that thing square level 3 times and good. So I think I could get on a hold of like 75% of his program and push it.
That's what I've done.
Yeah.
Just do better than I was doing and be consistent with it, and then add a little something here and there, and I'm gradually getting better. Results are starting to show.
Well, with his knowledge and his drive, dude, the guy just wants to help people. And that is something I think that probably all of us wake up, especially here. I know everybody's heart that's in the room. We all want to help somebody, right? We might be these type A, arrogant kind of assholes that make fun of people, but like deep down in our hearts, we're good people and we want to help people. And I think Erik is that.
Oh, yeah.
Man, like from even his humble beginnings, like all he wanted to do was help people. And like what he does in the court system, while it may frustrate the piss out of law enforcement, he's truly helping people.
Yeah.
And what he does with his other job, if you will, is helping people. I mean, to think that he's helped how many people lose 700 pounds in a year and a half?
Yeah,
like
it's
how many
crazy.
years back? And there's no way to put numbers to it, but like how many years has he put back in people's lives? It's just crazy to think about.
I'd like to know how many it's given me back. You know, I mean, I guess I could get smoked on the way home, but like if assuming life goes normal, his knowledge has put years back into my life.
I agree with
There's
that.
no doubt about it.
I agree.
Have you seen the before and after pictures of Erik?
Yeah.
Have you, Colton?
I think so. I think he showed up on my People You May Know.
It's
one time.
unbelievable. You know, when he was talking about being the big power lifter,
Yeah.
lineman looking type, that's
Yeah.
the dude we just talked to there.
Yeah, that's even that guy scares the shit out of me.
Well,
Right.
yeah, but I mean,
But
like,
to
so
think that he had like the issues he had
Yeah.
with like hypertension and stuff, and now he's just fucking jacked.
That's
Yeah.
the same guy.
That's terrifying.
And if you'd have seen the version of him before the weight loss,
Oh, yeah.
you wouldn't have thought unhealthy.
no,
He's just
dude,
big,
he walked around
muscular,
big, and I
Strong
mean,
as
like,
fuck.
he
Yeah.
wore like dress shirt because I mean he works for the courts. He wore stuff, and he was just a fluffy-ish guy, but just jacked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now he looks like he went from looking like he could pick up Atlas stones and do the, World Strongman contest or whatever. Now he looks like, I always say he looks like a retired Navy SEAL. That's what I
Yeah.
think of when I see
Yeah,
him.
100%.
Just
Yeah. So like I'm in a little different spot with like the fitness stuff. I'm wanting to gain weight and stuff like that. But hearing him talk and his delivery, and obviously seeing like his transformation and seeing like what he's done for you, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say if I really button down the hatches, I could be a physical freak in a couple of years.
Oh, dude, give
he
him
could help you
like-
put
say-
weight on.
give him 6 months and watch how much weight and strength he could put on you.
Yeah, I could be a specimen in no time. Really,
I agree with that.
super
Well,
good dude.
I think no matter what, somebody's gonna get something from this, even if it's just
10,000 steps a day.
10,000 steps a day. It starts with walking.
Listen to it all the way through and start changing your life.
Absolutely.
So this is going to be like a Q&A type environment, or just kind of organic, or
Pretty organic.
Very organic.
yeah.
Have
He's
you
looking
even
at me
read
being
anything?
like Walker's going to be real structured.
Yeah.
well, I kind of figured it wasn't structured, but I didn't know if
Yes.
read the bio or whatever I sent in.
Yeah,
So-
I sent it to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read it when you sent it.
Got it.
a month
So if it
ago.
was up to me, it would be very boom, 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 boom. But we're all trained interviewers at this point.
Okay.
So it's pretty much just fairly organic. Really, the whole goal of this entire thing was to we would sit down and have nights that we were working on taxidermy or hunting or cleaning deer or just sitting around bullshitting.
Mm-hmm.
To just take those nights. And some of the dumb shit we talked about was some of the stuff that I'm like, man, this is going to make an impact in my life, right?
Right.
We were trying to take that and figure out how to bottle that into a source for everybody else to hear. But yeah, so I mean, like, we can cover. I mean, I know your job at the court, so I always want to hear that because I think that's interesting. But I'm a nerd. But then really, you know,
it's my life, how I got here.
Yeah, your whole life, how you got there, and then like the fitness side. I think we can probably dive into that. Yeah, because I mean that's been your baby for a while now.
Well, I've been involved in fitness now for 37 years.
Yeah,
long time. Obviously, you know, I've learned a lot in those years, and you know, particularly the last 3, I've always been a meathead, if you will. Always been in the gym, barring injury, never missed. Started in high school, and the reason why I got involved with working out was I was a nerd. Got beat up a lot.
Shut up!
I did.
Really?
Yep. True stories.
Really?
I hear a lot of that.
I did. I was picked on and wore glasses, the whole bit, and you know, predominantly in middle school, and we all got picked on, you know, but. I started lifting weights my freshman year, and then by my junior year, I was on. I mean, my body responded to it, and from there, you know, homecoming king. You know, I was all-state offensive guard. You know, just kind of took off from there, and then after high school and went to college, I just kind of continued doing that type of stuff and keep on working out and enjoyed it. You know, of course I went to college and, you know, was a bouncer for a while. There's a story there. If you want to go into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll
Sounds
cover
like
all
a good
of it.
time.
Wild. So there was, do you want me to go into that now?
Man.
Okay. We'll just segue
deal.
right into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was bouncer at this bar. It was Bruff's in Emporia, Kansas. I don't know if you ever been there.
Go to Emporia State.
I went to Emporia State. I'm going to age myself here a little bit. I graduated in high school in 1990.
Play with Leon Lett.
Leon was gone.
Was he already gone?
He was already gone. Yep. But I actually, when they were kind of recruiting me, he was playing.
You're impressed that I knew that, aren't you?
That is impressive. It's either that or it's showing your age.
Yeah, that too.
It's dating you a little bit. But anyway, I started working as a bouncer at this bar. And long story short, it was 2-level. So 18, you can get in on the first level, and that's where your pool tables, food, and there was a bar in there too. But you know, there's a little dance floor, and then upstairs was 21, and you know that's you had to to drink, and that's where all the dancing and all that was going on. So anyway, there were some shady cats coming in there, and the owner at the time. We had a wand, and I said, hey, we may want to start wanding people coming in. And he's like, oh, that's bad for business, because the place across the street was kind of the hopping. That's where most of the frat guys were. And it was happening. And we had kind of the older crowd, kind of the rougher, some, if there was, we were getting the residuals off them, they didn't want to wait in line. So they'd come over to Bruff's. Anyway, and this is, by the way, you can actually Google this. This is a big deal. So
this specific incident.
So
okay.
So and it would be what year was that? 93 maybe, because I graduated college in 94. I was out of there. 93, 92, 93. It was 93. So anyway, I was working upstairs, and the only thing that we had was, the mag light. That's a nice weapon, right? Mm-hmm. And so I felt, and we had some football players that were bouncers. We were pretty legit. But anyway, there's got to be 300 people upstairs dancing, and there was tables on the perimeter. And I was looking over, and there was 2 black guys getting into it, and it was over a girl. Go figure. And anyway, next thing I know, Dude pulls a gun. I mean, mind you, this is not, this is packed here. And the guy goes, obviously startled, takes off. Dude starts trying to shoot him in the crowd. In the crowd. Yeah. And so he hit 5 people.
Jeez.
One, this was terrible. Now that it's so visceral. I mean, I get this visceral reaction when I think about it. It's been so many years, but it's wild. So after all the dust is cleared, well, let me back up. So anyway, he's doing all this, and I see him coming towards me, the guy with the gun, and I'm an idiot. So he wasn't paying attention to me necessarily, but I shivered him. Gun flies out of his hand, slides across the floor. I don't know where it went. I mean, it was just mass chaos. I don't know if you've ever been in a scenario where there's 400 people are just
screaming,
going down these stairs. I mean, it's just wild, running over each other and everything. And so anyway, after all the dust was cleared, he got out of there. The police caught him, all that. But the girl, there was a girl that got shot in the head. Listen to this. This is what kills me, and it chokes me up a little bit. First time in a bar, 21st birthday.
Gosh, damn.
And just got married. And her husband, brains. I mean, it was horrible. You guys seen this, and all that kind of thing, but it just absolutely horrific. But the guy went to prison. Obviously, you can look it up.
I got it right here. Lafayette Gaydon versus the state of Kansas.
Yep. What year? 1992?
December 4th, 1993.
Three. Okay.
He's convicted of first-degree murder, attempted voluntary manslaughter, and aggravated
there.
battery.
Put it this way, that was the last day of my bouncing career.
Said enough's enough.
Well, I don't know what minimum wage was back then, but it was, it was ridiculous.
An hour is probably
it was
not
probably
worth it,
$5 an hour. I'm like, I'm over it. I'm done. And of course the owner's like, well, what's the deal? I'm like, dude, the next weekend, there was nobody there. I mean, no one showed up, and, of course,
Yeah, you got hired to go rough people up and fight a little bit, not get in.
Yeah, not to have people shooting out on you.
Dodge
Wild.
bullets. Come on.
It was wild. So
I bet
anyway,
he's looking back at the conversation I probably could have wanted that guy, and it would have saved us.
man, had the guy listened to me,
Yeah.
but he was all thinking about, the bottom dollar,
Right.
I mean, but obviously after that,
I bet the
bottom dollar was pretty low after
the
that.
bar probably closed.
It didn't close, but it was rough for that guy for a long time. Now he was open during the day. Like I said, the first floor was food, and it was actually decent food and all that, and people play pool and all that. But yeah, as far as the nightlife, but Bruffs.
Never heard of it. On a side note, the drive to Emporia, Kansas from Joplin, Missouri is the longest drive on the fucking planet. There's not a straight road to get there.
No.
It's awful.
Well, when I was going there was no 400 highway. So
Even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, 400's rough. So I
400.
can't imagine
Oh
it
my
without
God.
400.
So the only 2 encounters I have had formally with law enforcement was in Allen County, Kansas. So I, at the time I was, a probation officer I started my career as a probation officer. They called them court services officers in Kansas, but I lived in Pittsburgh, and I would go home. I'm from El Dorado, Kansas. So I would go home quite a bit at the time. And I can't remember the name, but you go through the town of Altoona. Do you remember that town? Do you know that
Is that
town?
where the Nut Hut's at?
I don't know. There's not much
I think
to
the
Altoona.
Nut Hut's in
It is
Altoona.
too.
Trust me. You had to get to El Dorado from Joplin, or at least I did. You can go up 54 and you could have done that. But you had to go up to Girard, and then you take whatever road that is at Girard, it's still there, and then it jogs over at Altoona, and then that takes you all the way in. It's the road that, has no shoulder. It was terrible. But anyway, I would always speed 37 and 47 or something like that. I think
47.
Yeah. And got pulled over probably by the same deputy each time, but yeah, he gave me a ticket. I was going 70 or something, but there was nothing out there.
Where's El Dorado, Kansas at?
It's outside of Wichita. Yeah.
Out there in God's country.
Yeah. Well,
The
Yeah.
armpit of the United
It
States.
is.
No,
that's
no,
Western
no,
Kansas.
yeah.
I just got back from Colorado. No, Western Kansas and Eastern Colorado.
It's like the
is the
freaking
worst.
moon. Eastern
take that back.
Colorado is like going to the moon.
I take it back. The worst than the Eastern Colorado and Western Kansas is the Panhandle of Oklahoma.
It's bad.
Oh, that's
It's real bad.
Such a drive.
Guyman. It's
Yep,
terrible.
Guyman,
Yeah.
Oklahoma. We
Yeah.
drove through there on the way back from elk hunting in Colorado. And so I got to experience Western Kansas, Eastern Colorado, and the Panhandle of Oklahoma all in that same trip.
Mm-hmm.
And Eastern Colorado was, I thought, worse than Western Kansas.
Well, at least
And
you can see.
Eastern Colorado is pretty bad.
At least you can see and know that there's mountains out there. Panhandle, Oklahoma, you're like, well,
No,
this
there's-
is why they gave it to the Indians.
It's like just the world's biggest salvage yard.
And the cows. What are the feed yards?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all there is out there is feed yards and dirt.
Yeah, there was nothing.
But anyway, I digress. So anyway, kind of moving forward, and I started, like I said, my first job in Kansas. And before there was internet, there you go. There's another dating me a little bit. I was applying everywhere after I graduated, and I got the old Rand McNally out. Do you know what the Rand McNally is?
I have no idea.
There we go. It's a map.
I do.
Yeah, okay.
I'm old enough.
Yeah. So you had to go. So Columbus, Kansas. I was like, where is Columbus, Kansas? There was an opening, and so I had to get up there, and I'm like, oh, A30. You know, it's like, okay, I'll take that. I'll apply to that job. I won't live in Columbus because I'll live in Pittsburgh because it's a college town. I can deal with that. I was 22 at the time, whatever. Got the job, worked there. That was interesting time. Boy, I probably shouldn't talk about my experiences.
You can do whatever. It's probably all past the.
It's all real, but I
Yeah.
don't know if I want to have it out there.
Lay it out
The things
there.
that you
probably all
don't,
past the
you
statute
just don't
of
want to pull that
limitations.
curtain back.
Yeah, but it's past statute of
Okay.
limitations.
All right,
Probably.
fair
There's
enough.
like 11 people that listen to this.
So
It's fine.
okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Okay. So
Does your wife know?
yes.
You're good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this
Yeah,
is all
you'll be
work
fine.
related.
Yeah,
So,
you'll be
I'll put it this way. I won't mention names. So the sheriff at the time, I started working down there, and I'd never. Yeah, this was back when there was actually the chat piles and stuff. You know, before they cleaned it all up, and I'm like, I've never experienced that. You know, it's like it looks like the moon. I'm like, where am I? Why did I take this job? You know, kind of thing. And my boss at the time, Mike Wilson, good dude. He passed away several years ago, but good guy. He was taking me around, showing me around. Well, there was a fire in Galena. He goes, hey, let's check that out. So we go in there, fire's going, you know, and everything, and they're not putting the fire out. They're just like
Let
watching
her
it
burn.
burn.
Yeah.
So Mike Wilson goes up to the sheriff, and he goes, hey, why aren't you putting this fire out? And I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a sex offender, and he's been around here. He's been in Jasper County too. I can't remember his name, and that's terrible about me, but I just don't remember. But anyway, the sheriff said, this is what we call urban renewal. Like, okay. It just was a little wild, but that was Cherokee County. That was
times.
a wild west over there,
It's
for sure.
Still kind of
Sort of, but man, dude, there was some things that went on, like at the so at the jail. I'll give you one more, then we'll move on. But there was a kid. I can't remember his name. Probably doesn't matter. But anyway, he was a young guy and also always in trouble. Nothing really super violent, but just, crazy stuff like, stealing cars and taking the highway patrol on high speed chases, things that are obviously dangerous and whatever. But anyway, there was I am going to mention this guy's name because he's passed away. Freddie Fry. He was the jailer, and he was probably in his mid 60s. And dude, you did not mess with Freddie Fry. You piss that guy off and you're deep. So back in the day, the sheriff's office and the jail was on the third floor of the courthouse. It was on the top floor of the courthouse. And basically it was just a big cage. And I don't even think it had cells in it. It was just like a pit, And so anyway, I go up there because I had to interview somebody. And here's this kid. he is shackled. He's handcuffed to the bars, and his feet are handcuffed to the bars, and left and was there, just sitting there like sleeping or whatever. I'm like, God, what's going on? You know? And one of the inmates said, yeah, he's been there for a couple of days. I'm like, what? And I said, what did he do? And he goes, he asked for relish on his hot dog. Dude, that's wild. Okay. That's real stuff that's happening.
This is in the 90s?
I'll just say
Or
around
I was
around in that time frame. It's wild. So anyway, I worked there for a while, and then I went up to Pittsburgh and worked there for a couple of years, and then I came over, and this is when you got to know me at the Missouri Board of Probation and Parole, and worked there. I started out as a probation officer, got pretty quickly promoted to supervisor, and was there for 17 years.
Where did I meet you? I know it was during that time frame, and I would have been in college. Did you teach something at Southern?
I didn't teach, but they always had me come out, you know, to the criminal justice classes. So I may have met you that way.
It had to have been something like that.
But you would come by. I mean, you know, well, it may have been later in my tenure over there when you would come by, you know, with you being on the task force and everything,
right?
And everything. But and then they also had meetings.
I just don't remember not knowing you in my time in law enforcement. It's just like you've always been around, you know. Yeah, and I know I knew you before that. Yeah, I don't remember how I met you, but I've just always known you in law enforcement. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, obviously, you know, I have a lot of friends in law enforcement, and you know, obviously respect the profession, and you know, the work that you guys do is tough. I think. I mean, especially now in the advent of cell phones and everything's recorded, and you know, armchair quarterbacking and whatever. But so then you know, I started getting heavily involved with treatment courts, and we can talk about that a little bit. You know, there's a lot of, I don't know if misinformation is the right word, but a lot of misunderstandings of what a treatment court is about.
Probably from our side too.
Oh, for sure. But I mean,
no.
Well, here's what I always tell my law enforcement friends. Dude, your job is to arrest, period. That's your job. Okay. Then once you're done with that, then you need to let because, you know, public safety has changed over the years, you know, I mean, and I think some for the better, some for maybe we can do better. I mean, we always do better, and we can talk about that as far as the GRYND stuff. But you know, what we have used to do in law enforcement and criminal justice in general is just do what feels good instead of looking at data. Now we're looking at data and seeing what really works and what really doesn't work. You know, what I've discovered over the years as we talk about treatment court, and you guys know, I mean, 90% of the people you guys deal with are substance abuse and mental health. I mean, that's what you guys deal with most of the time. I mean, a lot of the time.
Overwhelmingly
the time.
What we do.
You know, especially in the task force, and I get that. And you should be getting those guys that are peddling it and doing the, you know, selling and all that kind of stuff. But the vast majority of the people that we deal with and the court system deals with are people that, you know, have these substance abuse issues. And I can tell you from working in the system as long as I have, 32 years, it's a long time.
Is that when you started in Kansas?
I started in Kansas in 94.
Man.
So I've been doing it for 32. So before I'm done, which is in 10 years, knock on wood, I'll have 42 years in this.
You have 10 more years, and you've been doing it 32 years. Wow.
And did you hear how excited he was to say 10 more years?
I actually like my job, but as I get older, I mean, I'm just ready to, you know, do something maybe different. I don't know. I mean, but what I can tell you is that there's a better way of dealing with some of the people. And what I look at, I'm a bean counter. I like data, and I like, you know, making decisions based on stuff that is not emotional. And so what the data shows and what we're doing in Jasper County is phenomenal. There's a lot of different areas that we are really, you know, leading the way in a lot of different directions in terms of some changes that are positive. But one of them is the treatment courts. And the treatment courts is that we have a 70% graduation rate. And now, by the way, these are people that we pick or get into the program are not cherry picked like somebody that's messed up one time. I mean, these are people that are inundating our hospitals, in and out of jail, those types of people, right? I mean, and that there's a lot of cost with that. And obviously arresting them is not helping, right? So, I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and, expecting a different result. So, but back to the treatment court, it's 72% graduation rate. If you go and you take the demographic of the population, drug addicts going to prison, the recidivism rate is about 40%. You put them through treatment court, it's 20. So you're cutting the recidivism rate in half. That's my goal at with policies and things of that nature, is making those kinds of changes, because that way, if we can, and not only is it just not, having them being rearrested, but many times these people are working. These people are paying taxes. They're taking care of their kids, so they're not going into foster care. Things that you guys see all the time.
Which
right?
would be the true measure of the success of
Sure.
the program.
100%.
Not whether or not, like, I mean, recidivism is the only metric that you have that you can bean count with, right? So, I mean, I would argue the numbers are probably, higher in terms of recidivism or relapse, I guess I should say. But maybe they're not rearrested.
Right.
But when they get to the point where they're genuinely contributing to society, I mean, that's the end goal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And
It's just hard to
huge.
quantify that number, though.
Yeah,
It
you
is.
can't quantify it.
You can't, not as easy as the
Right.
recidivism.
Yeah.
And, with the purse string holders, recidivism rate's a big deal.
Right.
I mean, and controlling the jail population and those
Yeah.
kinds of things.
That makes the program make more sense to me, hearing it laid out like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of people think it's like, soft on crime or
For sure.
whatever. But I mean, these people, they get drug tested 8 times a month. They have to call in every morning at 5 a.m. to see if they're getting selected for the day. They have to go to treatment. They have to appear in front of a judge every 2 weeks. I mean, this is a very structured program.
I'd fail that program just if I happen to call in at 5 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
they do. I mean, and they have to show up at Tomo,
Yeah.
downtown in Joplin. And so it's not, I mean, there's a lot of accountability, but then there's also a lot of help and, and structure in that regard too. And the combination of those, that's why we use the term high risk and high need. High risk and high need means they're high risk to reoffend, and they have a lot of what we call criminogenic needs, like substance abuse and homelessness and, those mental health, those kinds of things.
No
So
jobs, no
no
support
job
system.
And, for me, and this is even before, getting involved in treatment court, and I tell anybody this, if you're not working and you're involved in the criminal justice system, you're out committing crime. Period.
Right.
I
It's
mean,
the
that's
idle
all
hands.
you're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. And the statistics bear that out. So we get them, employed, and we get them going in the right direction and give them some sense of hope, because a lot of these people just have no hope. Period. Like, what's the point of moving forward? I'm just going to keep on rinsing and repeating on doing what I'm doing. And, to me, if one of you guys arrested me, I'd be if I had to sit in the back of a police car with handcuffs on, I would be devastated. I would never come back. You know what I mean? I'd go under a rock. These people don't care.
No, it's like a normal Tuesday for them.
As a matter of fact, they probably, they get 3 hots and a cot. So that's not going to, that doesn't change anything.
If it's really cold out, or it's
right.
really hot out, or they're really hungry, yeah.
Right. So, so the treatment court was a big thing. The other one that's been really interesting, and I feel very successful, is our pretrial release program. Y'all know Larry Stout,
The legend.
the legend,
A legend.
Stout and Out program.
Stout
That's what
and
they
out.
call it. And I'm like, Larry, you need to reel that in a little bit.
Yeah. Stout and out.
Yeah, they call it the Stout now.
So are they picked for? Because we sit in court, so we get to hear. So
that's true.
I worked PMP before I came to.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay.
So I have a little bit of that, like 3 or 4 years of that,
Okay.
and then now I'm in there. So I'm always interested in the
You
criminal.
worked here in
justice side.
Joplin? No kidding. I didn't know that.
and down Newton County.
Okay.
So I'm always interested in that.
Yeah. So
are they picked for treatment court, and then is veterans court associated with?
Yeah. So we have 5 treatment courts. We have a co-occurring disorders court. And so co-occurring means that they have a mental health and a substance abuse problem. Then we have a drug court, which speaks for itself, a DWI court, a veterans court, and a family treatment court. And the family treatment court's not on the criminal side, it's on the juvenile side. And so the family treatment court are kids that are removed from the home for substance use. They go into that program, and the hopes is that they reunify faster, get back with their families. Yeah. So those are the 5.
So are they selected for that during their pretrial release?
Yep. So what we actually have a team. I have a total of 4. One is Andy Albertson. You might know Andy Albertson. He used to work at the jail. Okay.
I saw him in court, and I just realized he went over there, came off the road and went over there.
Yep. And then Larry, and then Nikki Johnson and Kristen Hodson. They are master level social workers. So it's a team effort. And so there's 2 things that are going on. One is our pretrial folks, they're all called court services officers, but our pretrial folks go in there and they do a risk assessment. And what we're looking at on the pretrial program are 2 things. Are you a high risk to take off, and are you dangerous? Those are the 2 things that the judges actually have to make a decision on when they make a bond release decision. So they go in and they do an interview and gather the information that's necessary. They do a report. There's a risk assessment tool that they do, and then they submit that to the judge. But so they're doing that part. So then Nikki, she goes in there and she does what's called release planning. And how I pitched this to the county and to the sheriff actually was this. I said, look, what do you think's going to happen to a guy or girl that has mental health issues and substance abuse issues and nowhere to go and no resources, and you kick them out? What do you think's going to happen? Well, they're going to come back. Yeah, that's right. So what we do now is we go in and identify those people, and then we do a comprehensive plan. And so there's kind of like a warm handoff. And what's really cool about that, and they'll make it a condition of their bond. So they go up in court. You might see them in court, the girls up there, and the judge will be like, hey, they're wanting to go into a scent recovery or a recovery house or whatever. And the girls have already verified it. Yep, they got a bed and this and that. And so he'll put them in the program, and then they follow them through. They make sure that they're following up. And then if they don't follow up, they report back to the judge, and then they can revoke the bond and whatnot. So that program has been amazing. I have a research team it's been amazing. God is amazing. He is. I really feel like this is really God's hands all over this stuff, because I met this guy. He's he's one of the top 10 criminologists in the country. He's out of the University of Northern Florida. And then I have another professor that I work with from Clemson, and they do research for me. And they did we've done some meta-analysis of what I've just described about the release planning and the pretrial portion. And people that have participated in that program, the recidivism rate is lowered by 50%. That's huge. Huge. I mean, that just makes my tail wag. Because again, I'm looking at, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, your guys' job is to rest. You guys are not social workers. I mean, you're getting thrust into kind of those roles anymore, but you're not. You're not equipped for it.
Correct.
Plus, you don't have the time, and it's just not the right
just not
space.
The job.
It's not the job. It's not the job.
Not our training.
Your job is to arrest. Okay. And we're all looking to the goal of public safety, right? We want to make our community safer. So that's what I feel like I'm doing through our policies and that type of thing with the courts and working with the sheriff's office to make that happen. And so I'm pretty proud of that. Now, I do get some crap from some of my that are
for
law
sure.
enforcement.
Oh, yeah.
groups.
I've given you a hard time
Sure.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean, I get it because here's what I told
Most of it's playful from everybody,
For sure.
though, because the relationship with you is
Sure, sure. And even if it wasn't, when I talk to my buddies that, or in your guys' work, I tell them, look, and it's the truth. This is the God's honest truth. I said, look, I won't mention his name, but I said, you're emotionally attached to the situation. I mean, because you were in the situation, there was a gun in the car,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. I mean, I get it, but it's hard to translate that to like the prosecutor and the courts and stuff. It's a piece of paper, right? And there's thousands of them that we have to process, And so it's more of, trying to come to an understanding that there's no way everyone can go to jail. There's no way we can do. Yeah, I said the math doesn't even work. How an average jury trial would take, let's say, 2 days. Each judge has over 200 felony cases. There's 365 days in the year. You take out holidays, you take out weekends. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no way you can do it all. And then you got the other factors like victims and all the things and stuff. So it's much more complicated than what it shows like on TV, and that.
Everything gets triaged at every level or at every phase of the justice system.
Even at our phase.
Even at our phase,
Sure.
right?
100%.
So with the work that I do, let's say, information comes in about this crime happening, and then information about this crime, comes in. Well, you got the information about the dude with a little bit of dope in his pocket, or the information about the dude that's going down I-44 with a trunk load full of dope. Mm-hmm. Which one are you going to chase, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, those are drastic. It's a drastic comparison, but then we would obviously chase the trunk full of dope, not the one with a little bit of dope in his watch pocket. And then everything goes to the prosecutor's office, and then they get everybody's trunks full of dope. Now, which trunk full of dope are the good cases versus the ones that are a little bit sloppy, and then they have to triage those. It's triaged at every level. So it makes more sense to me now than it did, when I was obviously a kid. But
Well, I think the older you are, and the more experienced you are in your field, just like me, I'm much different than I was when I first started.
Oh yeah.
You start to get it. But anyway, I think that we're doing some really good things, and I know we're doing really good things in Jasper County. Matter of fact, there's a lot of agencies around the state that are trying to emulate what we're doing because it just makes sense. So kind of going back to, I don't want to go into too much of work, because I kind of want to talk about the lifting and leadership. I love leadership. I love, Jocko's my man.
He's the hero for a few of us at the table.
He's my hero. I have almost every one of his shirts. But I've been doing this for 10 years and court administration, and I love it. Some days are better than others, but that's just comes with the territory.
You're always the name that everybody blames everything on, but we never get to see you.
Oh, really? I'm blamed?
Yeah, always. Always.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Come on.
That's the first time I heard that one.
No, I mean, so inevitably, you guys stole one of our favorite prosecutors to be a commissioner.
Oh, yeah.
So
I didn't.
I know.
She applied.
So we heckle her because we'll inevitably run across somebody that is in one of her programs and they reoffend, and that's what you guys get judged on, right?
Oh, sure.
You never get judged on your wins; you get judged on your losses, right?
Yeah.
You get judged on every interception you throw.
Yeah.
So we always like to heckle her on that, and it's just like, I know it just happens, but I will say from my side of it, from the short PMP side that I had, plus now just the few that I've worked with, people that have legitimately gone to treatment court and given it a fair shot and gone to veterans court. I think that veterans court, I love it. There's a couple guys that went that I thought there was no hope for.
Yeah.
And they've turned their life around.
Yeah.
So those are really good to hear.
Yeah.
And then there's that guy that reoffends. Even if he's been out and clean and doing good, and then 5 years later, we just had one that reoffended. I'm like, man.
Yeah. I mean, well, and here's what I say to... Well, actually, I said this to a bunch of law enforcement guys. This was great. I'll tell you. I thought I came up with this like just right off the cuff. So I said, hey, because they were all giving me, not in an unprofessional way, but I could see that they were like, oh, geez, we're talking about this. And I said, hey, okay, by a show of hands, how many people have tried to get on a diet? They all raised their hands. Okay, out of the people that did that, how many people has successfully completed that diet and has stayed on that diet? And like virtually nobody.
Right.
I said, there's no difference.
Correct.
The only difference is that they have an addiction that's illegal, and you have an addiction to food that you obviously, it's legal, but it's the same thing.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
behavioral based.
If sugar and sweets were illegal, like I'd be in prison.
Right. Right.
Because no matter how hard I'm trying to diet and do well right now, I mean, I walked in today and there was 2 cookies left over. Well, there was like a dozen cookies left over. I only ate 2, but I was like, oh yeah, for sure. It was really good and it was super worth it. But
yeah, but you're thin, man. You can get away with it. Wait till you get older. Ask Matt.
But then I look at it no different.
It's not easier, that's for sure.
No.
But I try to have that thought, and I'm probably a little ridiculed in what I do because I try to have that thought of like, how can I help this person? Man, mental health sucks. What they're in. I try to have that thought of like, dude, what you're doing, yeah, it's illegal. Is it the worst thing ever? No. Are you in a bad spot? Yeah. Because I come from the nonprofit world before that. So I see that cliff effect.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
You were talking about like they come out, they've got all these things going for them in jail, whatever, and they come out and they kind of hit that cliff of like no services, no help, no support system, no nothing, and then here's my addiction. It sucks to see it in the underprivileged people that are coming off welfare and everything else, but it also sucks to see it in our mental health and just our criminals in general.
Sure. And, the other thing that really, if I could kind of take a little segue off that, with the juveniles, when I came over to the court side 10 years ago, I started working juveniles. Yeah. I'll tell you, like I said, I'm into research, even internally, at the micro level, at the Jasper County level. And we did a study at the Jasper County jail, and oh man, when was that? 2017, 18, around in there. Anyway, we did a research project in there, and out of the people that participated that had issues, mental health and so forth, 95% of them had involvement in the juvenile system, and 95% of them have experienced significant trauma. And that's still, that is true now with all the kids that come in, most of the kids that come into our system on the juvenile side. And I know the police officers don't like talking about juvenile because it's like, that's the worst topic to talk about. But I think it's the most important because now that I've been involved in that, that's where you effectuate change. Is that, many of these kids are brought up in an horrible environment, abusive. I'm not, we sometimes, use the term trauma kind of loosely. This is not loosely. I mean, I've read some of the stuff that, and you guys see it, with your work. And what do you expect, to happen to a 10, 11, 12-year-old that's getting beat up by his dad, broken bones? I mean, you're going to have a chip on your shoulder, right?
And that's kind of lower into the spectrum in terms of abuse.
Right. Oh, it's terrible.
It's still horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
And so, and then unfortunately, it's a great program, but we're actually having to get into the into the elementary schools now. Because what I started seeing was, and you guys know what the term educational neglect, that's what we use in Missouri, because at that age, that's not truancy. That's the parents. That's something going on in the home. And so I challenged the juvenile office. I said, look, here's these figures that you're throwing at me in the data here. There's 3 things going on in that home. Either there's poverty going on in that home, there's either substance abuse going on in that home, or there's mental illness going on in this home, or abuse going on in this home, or all combination of all of that.
Yeah.
So we need to get in there and find out what's going on, And so we have this program called the ACT program. It's called the Attendance Care Team, and we do triage work. Our juvenile office, along with behavioral health, work with elementary administration and identify those people. And then we find out which ones are, just may have a transportation issue, or they need need to go to economic security or whatever. And then ones that, there may be some abuse going on, and then we can funnel them in and deal with that. And, and the reason why I say that is because the earlier that we get in, the more chances that we can start making changes systemically. And so, that I'm really proud of what we're doing. I mean, I know that it's challenging. I even say that to my staff. I said, are you doing this because you're mad at the kid? Okay. Or is this kid really need to go to DYS or something? Most of the time it's you're aggravated with the kid because they don't want to do what you tell them to do. Well, I mean, they've got a hard hand in life, and we got to figure out the why. Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
And that's that's easy to sit here and talk about, but I mean, it's very challenging. And you did this at probation and parole. It's challenging work, but it's necessary work. And so, you talk about the grind, and that's what this is. I feel like I've been called to this work. Certainly called to go work for the court system, because when I started, I was at probation parole. I was set. I was probably escalating up the ladder and all that, and I just had this opportunity, and I took it and prayed about it and did it. And I'm pretty risk averse. I mean, I'm 54 years old, and I've had 3 jobs, professional jobs, all of it related to criminal justice. So I don't change a lot. I'm pretty loyal in that regard, but it's one of the best things I've ever done, and continue to dredge forward, man. I mean, like I tell my staff, and like I'll tell you guys, it's a war. It's a war, and you win the battles that you can win.
Yeah.
That's the war. Crime has been around since Jesus has walked the earth, man. It's not going to go away. So, you win the battles when you can.
And we can't be mad at you guys, because you guys just help restock the pond sometimes, right? Keep us busy.
Hey,
what I think is cool is you've been doing it for 34 years, you said?
32.
And you're still passionate about it.
Yeah.
I've been doing what I do for not that long, 23 years now, and
that's
you can hear the
some
passion
time
in his voice for it.
Bro, a little over 8 years, I'm going fishing permanently,
Yeah.
and I'm ready for it, and you still love it.
Well, and I do. And here's the deal. And this is what I wrote in my biography. I just want to leave this world a better place. I mean, it's not about status. It's not certainly about money. And it's about, controlling this, the sphere of influence, that control the controllables. We get on Facebook and we see all this craziness going on in the world. And I always circle back and say, you can sit there and complain about X, Y, and Z that you have zero control over, or you can do something that you do have control over, whether that is, your job, is keeping drugs off the streets, or your job that's being a detective working crimes, and I think sometimes we forget how impactful our work is, because we're doing it daily, especially when people that are victims and things like that don't have any clue in life of what we do every day. And when they have an outcome, or if they have an officer or somebody come out and help them, it's huge. I believe it. I was a victim. I was a victim before I came into the system, worked in the system. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. I have had 5 hours of reconstruction on my face. I got bricked by a bunch of guys.
No.
Oh yeah. I was kind of a wild guy back in the day.
How old were you when this happened?
Okay. This would have been in 90, 1 or 2. So I was at JUCO.
College days.
I was in college.
You were a monster then.
No, I wasn't as big as I am.
You weren't a big guy then?
No. Oh, well, yeah, maybe.
So
I'm
you
about
were a
220.
lineman, weren't you?
I was, but back then, 225 was a big person back then. You know,
Really?
in the late 80s and early 90s, yeah. I mean, my best friend that ended up playing at Michigan, and he was bigger guy, but he was 6'4" and 245 when he was playing. Yeah, I was a big person back then. Now it's like the
350.
running backs.
Yeah.
You know, in
Yeah.
high school, it's wild. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I was at a party and drinking, and it was a party I shouldn't have been at. And again, me being the protector, this 16-year-old was there, and he did, that thing where you can like run up the wall and flip over, on your feet. Well, he did that, and he kicked a hole in the wall, and these guys wanted to kill him. And of course I didn't like say, hey, come at me or whatever, take me on or whatever. But I was like, hey, just chill out. And next thing I know, they're throwing bricks at me. So I got bricked in the face twice.
Really?
Oh yeah. It was terrible. But I digress.
You've always been, I'm guessing your demeanor has always been like kind of a go along to get along kind of guy, like friendly, kind to people.
I am until I'm not,
Right.
I mean, I've never been, even when I was bouncing, I never was one of those guys. I had some of my cohorts that they would just escalate it.
Looking for the fight.
No, man. I was like, hey, just chill out, and think about what you're doing or whatever. And, but if I had to, I had to, but, go hands on. And like I said, the bar was pretty rough. I mean, I've seen people getting popped with cue sticks and obviously shot,
right,
and all the things. But no, I feel like, for me, it's just treat people with respect. I did that when I was a probation officer, I mean, I just like, I didn't have to yell at you. I don't have to, dude, I'm in charge. I mean, you're going to do this, or here's X, Y, and Z consequences. That's what's going to happen. So that's how I've always been. But yeah.
So you talked about it at the beginning that weightlifting had always been a part of your
Hold on.
life.
I got two questions before we dig into that.
Fire away.
What was your major at Emporia?
Okay. My major, I did my major in rehabilitative services education.
Okay.
And then my master's is in public administration from Mizzou.
Okay.
But I did that way later. Later.
And then I have one more thing.
Yeah.
While we're on the juvenile thing, before
Yep.
we dive straight into anything else, I work crimes against kids and all people crimes. We have seen a drastic uptick in kids and gun violence. What are you guys seeing on the juvenile side?
Hell
Same
yeah.
thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just centralized
no.
to Jasper County, but like nationwide?
And I think that there's a matter of fact, there was I think it was the Attorney General's office was particularly in St. Louis and Kansas City. There's a huge gang problem, and the problem with the juveniles, not the problem, the setup with the juvenile system is it's rehabilitative.
Mm-hmm.
It's not punitive. It's not
Correct.
designed to be that way. And so what do you do with a 16-year-old gang member that's shooting people? Obviously you can do certification and all that kind of stuff. And there's been a big push, but yes, there's been some inquiries, if you will, with the court system from the AG's office about how many violent crimes. And there's been some changes. I think there, and I don't have it in front of me, but Senate Bill 888 came out recently. It's been signed into law, and it talks a little bit about, it has some involvement in the juvenile stuff. But locally, I know I've told the juvenile office is that, gun violence and kids with guns, we need to take some serious measures to deal with that. So,
Yeah. Okay. I asked that because we had one of those come up, and I'll talk to you about it later. But
Okay.
no, I was just curious in general what you guys had seen, if there was an uptick or it was just like a random one-off. Because I know just from
it's hard for me to say because I'm not in the weeds.
Right.
I really don't do the day-to-day
Yeah.
like Rebecca.
But you get to see like the national statistics and everything else.
Yeah.
I was just seeing if we were correlating with the national average or we're behind.
I think
or ahead.
obviously the Kansas City and St. Louis area, but they're more urban areas.
They're going to blow us
are
out of the
gonna-
water for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But it's around.
Yeah.
I mean, Jasper County, Joplin and Jasper County. There's
It's not
some stuff.
Mayberry.
No,
No.
it's not. It's
No.
really not. So
Something that's always stuck with me is, Stout was, he came from the big city, obviously, and he's always been somebody that I kind of looked up to. And he said, "Don't get it twisted. Like, Joplin's a small town, but it's got big city problems." And he said that coming from Los Angeles County.
Yeah.
And that
Joplin is rough. There's a lot.
Joplin's really rough, and the gang culture in Joplin is increasing. So that would be my input on the uptick in the kids with guns, is that the gang culture is becoming a lot more of a prevalent thing. There's been an influx from the Chicago area.
Yeah, so it started in like Chicago, and then it made its way to St. Louis, Kansas City, and then Springfield, and now Joplin's 7 years-ish behind where Springfield was. Springfield's 10 years behind where St. Louis was. St. Louis is 5 years behind where Chicago was. I mean, they just kind of follow each other.
Yeah. It's a real deal. I mean, and I can't explain it, but
I don't think they have those problems in the mountains of Wyoming where I'm going when I retire.
You're set.
Going fishing.
I think if we could pitch phones and social media, that would help.
Yeah, it would be major steps in the right direction.
All right, take us down.
I'm ready to start talking about healthy stuff.
Jeez. Let's go.
I'm so sorry.
Work.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all right.
Wait, did you do any martial arts when you were bouncing? No. Just manhandle.
Yeah, I was a man.
Okay.
I was a manhandler. You didn't want to.
Grape ape coon down.
Yeah, put it this way. I'm realistic in that, I'm not a MMA fighter or any of that kind of stuff. I'm not stupid. So if I thought it was going to go down, I'm hitting you first, and I'm hoping I'm knocking you out. And then if I grab a hold of you,
could probably
it's
successfully do.
It's been a moment, but I have. I won't incriminate myself, but I have had to do those things. But because I'm not stupid. I know that I'm not going to go toe to toe and start slinging. Dude, you're going to get blown up. I'm not trained for that,
Right.
so I'm not doing it. Yeah.
All right, take us down your
All
journey.
right, take it down.
I'm ready for it.
Go.
Lead
this rabbit trail.
It's not a rabbit trail. This is the purpose of
the
the
main
whole
topic.
thing. This is the main event.
This is the main event. We
This
just
is
had to
like
warm up.
as passionate as you are about the day job. It's your secondary job that everybody knows you for now. And so you said that you had always been, weightlifting had been a thing ever since high school. You just started lifting weights, never stopped. When I met you, I don't know how big you were then, but you've always been like a big, muscular,
I was a big
power
dude.
lifter looking guy.
Power lifter. I look like an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I'm just bigger like that.
Mm-hmm. And everybody knew you as kind of just the big muscle man type. And everybody took that for big, strong, healthy. And this is, in reading your posts that you associate with your business, you talk about like high blood pressure, sleep apnea, like all of these health problems that you had. And something that, man, our country or our culture is terrible about it is we've normalized being fat, where I was rolling around like I was fatter than a tick, and people be like, "Oh, you're not that bad," like pretty normal. Really.
Personally, I called you Fat Jason Aldean.
Yeah, you were way.
He does look like him. Wow,
you were way late to the party.
Ooh, man, I am. I'm
way late to the party on that deal.
Like somebody else beat him to it.
We've made that normal. Everything that goes along with being fat and out of shape, and
it's also I say it's American hospitality that we always want to feed people, right? Like we always either have a drink or sit down and we socialize and normalize socialization around alcohol, which doesn't help, or food.
Yeah, that and convenience and trash foods and all that stuff. And we're going to get into all of that.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. This is like I'm really looking forward to this.
Sorry, I took us on a rabbit trail
No,
for
you're
45
good.
minutes.
You're going to edit it.
I guess I want to know more about like how you got there, because like a lot of people when they start lifting weights, it's like how big, how strong, can they get and all in that. And you made a shift from trying to be the biggest, strongest guy that you could possibly be to the healthiest.
Yeah.
Take us through that.
Okay. So, I just like I said earlier, I mean, I am your classic meathead. I like to lift heavy stuff. I always have liked to lift heavy stuff. And so that was fine, up until you start getting older. And, you get in this routine, and you don't realize, what you're doing to your body, you're just have this ego thing where let's, lift 405, on the bench and all this and everything. And I suppose that I was kind of like that, or was like that. But the real pivoting moment, so there's two pivoting moments, right? I told you one already, when I was beat up as a kid. Okay. That was a pivotal moment. When I got rocked in the face, that was another pivotal moment. That one probably was more so than when I was younger, as a adolescent. And I said to myself, I'm never letting this happen. This has never happened to me again. So I just went on a terror. And, and a lot of people think, oh, you're on the juice and all this and stuff. And I'm like, people do not understand when I say that I worked out 5 days a week for 37 years, that is the God's honest truth, without fail, unless I was injured or sick, And so it's a lot of work is what I'm saying. A lot of grind. I enjoy it, but it's work. And so those are the pivot. And then the last pivoting moment, and this was 3 years ago, when I was involved in the courts building of the courts building and the juvenile and all that. I didn't realize how redlined I was. I mean, I was going home, and I've told you this. I'd go home and drink mixed drinks and eat a bag of chips and just out of control. I ate meat and all that kind of stuff, but I was just eating all the time. I don't know how many calories I was consuming, but I was just like, I was ballooning up. I was like, at that point, about 280, 285, still strong and everything. And I was, like you said, I was on anxiety medication. I was hypertensive, so I had to take blood pressure medicine. I was on a CPAP. And I'm like, what is happening? And so I reached out to this guy, Ivan, and he was online and all that. And I told Jennifer, I remember vividly, I said, look, this guy may take me on a wild ride or whatever, and if I get scammed, I get scammed, whatever. I'm just doing it. And so I just decided to do it. And
I absolutely love Ivan's Facebook page.
Dude's a stud.
Yep.
Straight up. You don't want to mess with that dude.
No, no.
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, he's a good guy. I mean, I've actually got his phone number. I can call him. I haven't in a while, but I mean, he's a busy dude. But yeah. Anyway, I just went on the program, and all I really had to do was, change my eating habits. But more importantly, and what I try to tell my clients is this is not about anything but behavioral change. And, kind of going back to what you guys were talking about culturally in the United States, it's around food, right? But the problem now is that we are so inundated with high caloric, high densely caloric food. And that's what we consume. And then we're sedentary. Like, you don't even have to go to the grocery store. You don't have to go to any store. You don't have to leave the house anymore. It's wild. I mean, and you start thinking, I understand the convenience. My wife, every time I come home, I have a package at the door, right? I mean, so I get it. We all do it. But when you're sedentary and you're eating highly caloric foods that are highly processed, you're going to gain weight and you're going to get sick. And I'll go a step further, that I believe 100% that the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry are in bed together. Yep. 100%.
100% on the same
because page. They want you sick. And they want to give you a pill.
It's a revolving door.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And now that I have experienced, so let me back up. So when I was 280 and whatever, both of my knees are shot. I need these replaced. I mean, that's been verified by Dr. Black. And I was on my way to doing it. Matter of fact, I called Chad Carr one day and I go, dude, because I was scared. I mean, because I like to lift, I'm not going to get to lift. And he said, it's not that bad and this and that. So I was getting ready to go down that path before I got a hold of Ivan. And, obviously I lost a lot of weight. I was 280. Now I'm hovering around 220, 225-ish range. So the weight's off of me. But the biggest factor is that I'm not eating inflammatory foods. Huge. I can't tell you how much different I feel in terms of my energy level, my cognition, my thought patterns, my all of it, based on what we eat. And that's why I try to convey to my clients, is it's going to be a process. You didn't get fat overnight. Okay. It took time to get there. It's going to take time for you to get off of it, to get back in shape. But, we live in this culture where it's now, we want it now, we want the GLP, we want let's get it done, and that type of thing. Instant gratification, instant results. And it doesn't work like that. And more importantly, kind of going back to what I just said, it's about rewiring your brain. There's this thing called, and I'm not a scientist, so don't ask me too many questions about this, but it's the truth. There's this thing called neuroplasticity.
Andrew Huberman talks about it a lot.
Who?
Andrew Huberman. You listen to him?
No. Yeah. So, but neuroplasticity is basically is your brain, when you do things repetitively, it becomes automatic. And that's what I do with my clients, is make it automatic, and if they give it the time to do it, you've done it. I mean, you're doing it now. Mm-hmm. It took you some time, but
now it's become such a normal thing that it stresses me out if I don't do it.
Yeah.
Like I've adapted to it.
It's
now.
called, it's the neuroplasticity that you've developed. And dude, lifting weights like me drinking a cup of coffee. If I do not lift weights, or if I don't get my gym time in, I'm a mess.
I still hate that fucking place. I hate the gym.
Why?
I just don't love the gym.
Oh man, just put your
earbuds
in.
I'm enjoying seeing what it's doing.
Yeah, it's huge. And the other thing I'll share with you, and I tell my clients, what do you think is the number one indicator for longevity?
Muscle mass, skeletal muscle.
Yep, skeletal muscle.
The
100%
organ of longevity, they call it.
Longevity. The more muscle you have, the longer you will live. Period. And so yeah, I mean, I'm super passionate about it. I love seeing people succeed. I love when they get it. Because there's sometimes they don't get it at first. They don't want, it sucks. I mean, whatever. I personally don't think it sucks. I mean, I like lifting weights and stuff. No, but like I posted just the other day, I went and walked on 4th of July. Dude, it was 100 degrees outside. It was rough. I did not want to do it. But guess what? That's where we come into this conversation about discipline. Dude, discipline equals freedom. Jocko, let's go. And it's the truth. Choose your hard. You either can be fat and suffer those consequences, or you can, lift weights and, grind it out, if you will, and go work, do your workouts and get your, steps in and eat clean and do that. You can either be financially irresponsible, or you can be financially responsible. You just have to pick what you're choosing, you get a pick. And so life isn't easy. And, that's kind of your basis of your program a 100%. Little bit, So
choosing that hard is a real thing. You talked about, and I'll just second everything you said. And obviously I haven't made a level of progress, in my fitness journey that's even close to what some of your clients have done or what you did or anything like that. But I've definitely made progress. And like you talked about how your hip, like your joints all hurt, dude. Like my aches and pains are just almost non-existent now. Like you remember me bitching about my elbows real bad, like, and I think some of that was jujitsu, like getting acclimated to that because I just started jujitsu whenever I started working with you, and also made the diet changes. But I wasn't in the right headspace. Like looking back, I knew I needed to change, and I knew I wanted to change, but I still wasn't in the right headspace. 6-8 months ago, I kind of finally got in the right headspace and was just like, fucking Erik told you how to do this, do it. And now the weights come off, so obviously that helps some of the joint pain.
Yeah.
But there's other, just like my hips would hurt, my knees would hurt, like just achy, not like injury hurt, just achy all the time. Nothing hurts now. Like nothing hurts now. My shoulders hurt. They're injured. But as far as the general aches and pains, migraines, gone. Most of my lower back issues, gone. Elbows, just fine. Hips, like I was 20. Knees, they're fine. Like everything is fine now.
And I think you've got a well-rounded plan. You've mixed chiropractic with diet, exercise. You've kind of figured out what works for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's all, we've talked about it in other episodes when we had Dr. Danny on, the chiropractor. I don't know if you listened to her or not, but I think chiropractic is foundational. Like if your spine's not right, there ain't anything that's going to be right. So I go see her regularly, and she keeps me between the lines there. And nutritionally, I've dialed that in pretty good. And then jiu-jitsu is obviously exercise, but it's not weightlifting exercise. And that, like you said, muscle determines longevity. So I've got work to do there. And
Well,
I still don't love the gym. I'm working on that.
Well, and I say this to everybody that listens to me. Fitness is a journey. That never ends.
Right. Oh yeah. You
There's
don't ever
never
really
an end.
arrive.
I'm still on a journey.
Right.
And so, there's no.
Yeah, but it seems like you kind of understand the journey. You're not like struggling to shift gears right now.
Sure. No, I totally get that. Like we talked about it right now, I'm not really tracking my calories. If I want to turn around and do that, yeah, I can do that. But yeah, you're right. It's never a point. There's moments in your journey where you can, slam the football and but you're never going to get across that goal line completely, or the goalpost shift, as I get older, it's going to continue to do that. I'm not going to be able to do the things now. Fortunately, knock on wood, I'm able to do it at my age. I feel like I could do what a 20-year-old does in the gym.
Yeah.
But eventually, I won't be able to do that. And so, and that's going to be hard for me. I'm so used to, it took me a while to get used to not lifting really super heavy weight. But I'll tell you what's really cool. Have you ever heard of a dragon flag? You need to Google dragon flag.
Okay.
Coming right up.
Dude. I'll show it to you on my cell phone. So I did
Exercise?
it's an exercise called the dragon flag. Have you ever watched Rocky?
Oh.
Okay, when he's Rocky 4, when he's in the barn or whatever, and he's
This is that Bruce Lee thing, right?
it's the Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just did those yesterday. I did 3 sets of 5 of those at 54.
I got
I'll
to
show
see
it
what
to you.
this is.
All right, I'll show it to you because I sent it to a friend of mine. Hold on.
Here it is. I got it.
Pulling your whole body up off the bench.
So this is guy doing it progressively, but it's the one where he's just not touching his butt to
The core strength.
That one right there.
Yeah,
would
the
take.
core strength right there.
dude. So I couldn't have done that when I was 280.
Oh no.
No way.
God.
No. So that's kind of cool for me. I'm like, man,
That's cool for anybody. You see people post that stuff on Facebook where they'll be doing something similar, but they'll do it like 1 foot at a time, and it looks like they're walking
Yeah.
upstairs and then back down.
I don't know if I ever get there, but I'll take what I got.
But it's a similar type thing, and but you see like elite fitness athletes doing that, and you're 54 doing it.
Well,
impressive.
So where does that drive come from for you? Because it seems like you've had it most of your life.
Man, that's a good question. I need to think about that. I've always, I guess, generally, I'm a very driven person in general. I think it came from, it came from my dad. My dad was an amazing man. God rest his soul. But he taught me hard work and persistence and doing the right thing. And my coach, my high school football coach, his birthday is today, Coach Blazik, he also taught me discipline too. That just kind of resonated with me. But I just like to be challenged. I like to do hard things because when you do hard things, you grow from them. And I'm always striving to be better. I mean, I guess that's a kind of a generic answer, but that's the truth. I mean, it doesn't matter what I've done. When I was going to college and I was the janitor, I was the best toilet cleaner, whatever, that's just what I do. And and that's one thing, you talk about leadership and things of that nature, and that's what I expect of my people. I don't ask my people, my staff or whatever, to do anything that I wouldn't do ever, but I demand that, we're doing a job and an important job. And, I expect you to do the best you can. And that's what I do. I mean, that's just how I function and how I operate, and I will continue to do so as long as I live.
There's not that, I think amongst the circles that we hang out in, it's a lot of type A guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cops.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely. Red personalities.
Yeah, red personalities, type A, just 8s on the whatever, Enneagram, like the guys that just go get it.
Yep.
I'm a yellow.
I can kind of see that.
Everything
bullshit.
super fun.
There's nothing yellow about me.
I have 0 yellow. And I have 0 white.
I don't remember what the white was.
White was
red
peace.
and blue.
Yeah.
That was red and blue.
Yeah, I was a purist red.
One of
But
those purest reds, too.
I'm very pure,
Yeah.
pretty red. So,
But
sorry.
not everybody in the United States or that tries to come into our circle is that, right? And I don't know why it is that people just kind of let easy sink in, right?
Well, I mean, it's convenient. I mean, personally, I don't get it. I mean, there's times where, like, at work, I'll do, like, I feel like I need a staycation. I just get away from the place, and I'll go home, and like in 2 days, I'm like, dude,
crazy.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much television you can watch. I mean, it's like, okay, I'm not productive. This is not good. So I don't know how people sit around and just watch, or the other one, and I hope I'm not hitting any nerves or anything, but video games. I don't get that either.
No.
And there's a lot of people playing video games, like hours of that.
I
And
don't
it's like,
understand it.
I don't either.
I tried. I actually tried with my grandkids to play that stuff, and I'm like, dude, I can't. This is not fun at all.
I bet I haven't.
Now,
played a video
Galaga,
game.
if they had, actually, I'm lying a little bit, because I told my wife I really would like to find some retro games. I love it. Like Galaga was my favorite. Do you remember Galaga?
No,
Oh my gosh.
I've never heard of it.
Oh,
Yeah, I played like Super Mario Brothers.
do you remember Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Okay, that was in that era.
Okay.
Galaga.
The
You'll
old,
have to.
like, blow on it.
The old
But
Nintendo cartridges,
old
you got to blow
Nintendo
in them.
cartridges.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Atari.
Duck Hunt.
Do you
Yeah.
remember the Atari
The original
2600?
Pac-Man had the joystick and the button.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I just do not understand. It's just not being productive to me. Just doesn't.
So what do you see? I mean, you're a leader in what you do. You're a leader for your second job, probably. I almost say your favorite job, but it doesn't seem like it's your favorite job. But like, what do you see in most of your clients, everybody else, like when they can dial it back and just turn comfort up?
My clients, you mean?
Yeah, that's fine. Or like people that work for you or have worked for you, like, is it they suffer defeat? They just can't wrap their head around something? Like, what is it that makes them just be like, well, comfort's easy. I'm just going to turn that up and turn hard off?
That's another really good question because I just don't really.
Like we're a trained interviewers. We figured this out.
Right. I just think people like comfort, and I do too. But I know that that's
Not me. I'm practically like David Goggins.
Are you?
Yeah.
No.
Either am I. If you're a David Goggins, then
No, I like comfort.
Yeah.
Talk about liking comfort. I'm so for me, like this is my second week in a row going to the gym. So I'm super new to
Let's
it.
go.
But I just, for me, like I've been in situations where I just turn comfort up and turn hard off. But like last week was my first leg day in the gym. And I started negotiating with myself, and I got up in the morning about why I should
Or to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst.
I started, negotiating with myself, like I could go do this. I would probably enjoy that a lot more. And I'll just think back to maybe like a difficult situation I was in, and I'm like, oh, I made it out of that. And then, it just kind of clicked when Trent asked you that question. For me, I would rather turn hard up now because like I'm not even 30. If I can turn hard up now and kind of get ahead of that, then I can turn comfort up and maintain what I have built through the hard phase. You know what I mean? So comfort looks a little different. And that's kind of where I'm at now is like, I can, do this and it's going to suck for a while, but like, I know like physically how I want to look. And then from there, it's not going to be as difficult to maintain that.
I love what you said there.
So like,
did you pick up what he said? You want to do the hard stuff. And that's one of the things I forgot to mention. When I go, give you an example. I get up at 3 a.m. to work. This is past my bedtime, by the way. I'm in bed by now.
I mean, I've got a baby, so I get it. I normally try to be in bed by 9 too.
But I get up at 3:30. I get up at 3, get at the gym at 3:30. And I do that a couple reasons. One, I don't like people in the gym, and I have full range of the gym. But the other thing is that I tell myself, to your point, if I can do this hard, I can do other hard things.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is the truth. I mean, if you do, the more hard things you do, the easier the other hard things become. Mm-hmm. And I love that.
Because everything, for me, everything pales in comparison to a leg day.
Yeah.
I couldn't hardly walk for like 3 days. And I was like, well, I did it.
Yeah.
And then, tomorrow's supposed to be leg day.
Yeah.
So
no doubt. And lots of people ask me, why do you get up at 3:30? Because I like doing hard shit. I like doing it hard.
Dude, 3:30 comes really early.
Yeah. But I get you have the gym to yourself at 3:30, I'm guessing.
I do. And it's a sense of, I know it sounds corny, but it's the truth. When I walk away from the gym at around 5 or whatever, I've done more than anybody has done. 95% of the population, probably higher than that.
It's higher than that.
Than anybody. I mean, I've already got 4,000 or 5,000 steps in, and I've already had breakfast, and I've already had my Bible study, and I've already worked out and got my stuff done, and I'm ready to tackle the day. Dude, there's a sense of, I don't know, pride is the right word or whatever, but I mean, it's definitely accomplishment. And I wish that other people, and not necessarily go extreme, like do 3:30.
Well, not 3:30, because then they'd crowd your gym.
Yeah, stay away.
I'm gonna start showing
sleep
up.
in. Yeah,
no,
3:29.
Yeah, you won't go to sleep and then go work out and then take a nap.
That's
afterwards.
what it would be. Yeah.
But I really want, and maybe that's my drive with my clients and stuff, is that, I want them to feel the way I feel and about things. And that's why I tell them, it's not just about shedding the body fat. It's the other health marker benefits. It's, it's going to transition into to your work life, your relationships with your wife, your girlfriend, whatever. It really is the truth.
Man, I love, and personally, I hate waking up early, and I don't know why. I grew up on a farm, so we always had to wake up early. So it just pisses me off to have to wake up early. But here recently, I've started working out in the morning. Do you see that there's a difference in guys? Like, I know that there's the science behind it. There's higher testosterone, but is there a difference in like your clients that go work out in the morning versus at night?
There's debates on that. I don't think it matters. At the end of it's the same thing as, there's all this debate about, well, you need to eat your protein right after your workout. I mean, there may be a little bit of benefit from that, but at the end of the day, it's how you're eating, period. Are you consuming enough protein throughout the day?
Or are you showing up at the gym?
And are
really?
you actually showing up at the gym? So, yeah, I mean, I don't tell my clients, hey, you got to lift in the mornings because that's better. Or, then there's so much fitness noise in the fitness. I mean, there's a lot of noise in the fitness industry.
It's really simple.
It's not complicated, people.
No.
They're like, well, you shouldn't eat fasted. Oh, you should, you shouldn't lift fasted. Or, oh, you should, lift fast. I'm like, dude, look, eat clean, eat enough protein. Okay. Cause protein is huge, in terms of, it's the most, in my view, the most important macronutrient. And walk, move. I don't care, jiu-jitsu or not, walking, run, do whatever, get off your couch and lift weights. And that's all you got to do. And as far as the gym is concerned, you see all these influencers doing these different types of exercises and things. Dude, I have the most boring workouts that, I try to
Apparently they work.
Yeah. Well, it's the basics. It's push, press, it's pulling, it's hinge movements, it's squatting. That's what you do, so it's very basic. I don't change my workouts. I haven't changed my workouts really in 37 years. I do the same. That's why you call it boring. I always send my, messaging on Facebook, when I send these things out, it's like you do the boring stuff when no one's watching, and that's when you get your benefits. That's where, it's period. And, so you see all these influencers, oh, you got to do these different types of curls. No, just curl it. Just curl the weight, do progressive overload, the reps in reserve. I talked to you about that. There's a lot of people who go into the gym and I'm like, dude, you're doing too heavy a weight. You don't have to do that. Just, lift a weight that you can get to the rep range that you're wanting to get to, and then you have what's called reps in reserve, either 1 or 2 reps in reserve. So pick a weight that you can do whatever number of times, 10 times, 6 times, whatever you're doing. And then at the 6th rep, you can say to yourself, I can probably do this 1 or 2 more times with good form. Then stop. That's what you do. If you do that and you progressively overload, we can talk about progressive overload. There's different types of progressive overload, but
yeah, do your dive, like do a short session on all
short
this.
Sesh.
Yeah.
So that's called muscle hypertrophy. Okay, that's building muscle, and it's done by increasing the load on your body, your muscles. Okay, and in order to do that, you have to consistently progress in that, and that's what's called progressive overload. Now you can do that in several ways. You can do that with increasing the weight, which is the most common, or you can do it by slowing down the reps. That's a way of doing it.
Like time under tension?
Time under tension.
Okay.
I'm a huge time under tension guy, especially because I used to be the guy, I had pretty good form, but I'd go too fast and whatever. I've learned a lot, especially in the eccentric portion going down. If you have more time under tension, that's where you're going to build. And so, making sure that you're doing good form is important. And rest in between sets. Unless you're wanting to build capacity, you can, and I've done that before, where I'd try to do as heavy a weight as fast as I could between the sets. I've done that. And if you want to build endurance, that's a great way of doing it. But if you want to get stronger and bigger and build muscle, you have to let your body recover. And so, this 1 to 2 minutes is fine, between sets. But the other thing about recovery, so there's this misnomer about, everything's built in the gym, which is somewhat true. But really, it's outside the gym. And we talked about this. It's about recovery. Recovery is more important than what you're doing in the gym. So sleep, as a matter of fact, sleep is one of the most important aspects of this whole process, because if your sleep is off, you aren't going nowhere. You're not going to lose body fat. You're not going to gain muscle. Your body has, if you have increased cortisol, that's a hormone that you definitely, law enforcement guys, have probably high cortisol. It's a stress hormone.
Oh no, there's zero stress in our job.
Yeah. So learning how to regulate that is important. Because if you have high cortisol levels, we all have cortisol levels that go up and down. Okay. I mean, depending on the situation, whether it's at work or when you're working out, there's high cortisol, but you don't want to be constantly up at a high level. Because your body, when your body is stressed, then it's going to go into protection mode. And usually what that means is that you're going to retain body fat. I mean, that's how it protects itself. And so, trying to regulate and make sure that we keep our cortisol levels at a manageable level is super important. But yeah, it's fun. There's so much to. It's simplistic, but and I'm obviously not. I mean, even researchers don't know every aspect of metabolism. I mean, it's a very complex process, but eating is important, lifting weights is important, and recovery is important. And typically people get it wrong because what they do usually is they decide one day, I'm fat and I need to lose weight. And so what they'll do is they'll drastically cut their calories and they'll start running, which, by the way, is running in of itself is not a bad thing. It's good for cardiovascular health, but it's terrible. And it's good for weight loss too, but it's terrible for body composition. I mean, it's just not the right mechanism. Lifting weights is the right mechanism if you want to lose body fat and change your body comp.
You can actually deteriorate muscle.
Well, I mean, your body is
calorically expensive to have it.
It is, and the body's smart, right?
Right.
I mean, it depending on what stimulus you are giving it, it's going to respond to it. So, how many 280-pound guys do you know that run marathons?
One.
Jeremy Eads.
Yeah, Jeremy Eads.
Oh, Jeremy. Okay, he is the exception to the rule.
did it.
I'll have to give you that one. All right, he's an anomaly.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, and that's because you don't need muscle to do that.
Right.
Or let me back up. How many bodybuilders do you know that do that?
Yeah, none.
None, right? Because you don't need it. So your body, if you're running, your body's saying, okay, I don't need this muscle. Muscle is a metabolically active tissue, the most metabolically active tissue in your body. If you don't use it, if your body doesn't think it needs it, then it's going to use it, because your body is always wanting to restrict caloric output. That's its job. I mean, it always has been since. I mean, if you think about it, when the hunter-gatherers were around, you didn't eat until you caught a fish or until you speared a deer or whatever. And so the body, if you're giving it that stimulus, then it's going to react accordingly, and so that's not what you want. So back to my story, people get on this kick about wanting to do this and get on this diet where they're significantly restricting their calories. Well, then what happens is what's called metabolic adaptation. So your body will eventually adapt to the calories that you are providing it. And that's when people hit a plateau. So they'll lose like 30, 50, whatever number of pounds, right? And then they'll hit a plateau and they're like, shit, I can't lose any weight. No matter what I'm doing, I can't lose any weight. Well, then there's two options, okay? You either have to restrict the calories more, or you have to do more exercise or energy expenditure, or a combination of both. Well, when that's where people can't sustain it, right? I mean, then it becomes a sustainability issue. Then what do? They quit, stop, go back to whether they use, what they've been doing before. Well, then think about it. Now your maintenance calories is at 1,300 calories instead of 5,000 calories of what it was, whatever the period of time was when you started this adventure. And you go back to eating 5,000 calories, you're going to gain your weight back plus extra, right? Because you've wrecked your metabolism. So it's really important to make sure you do it correctly. And that's why I try to teach my clients is that, look, you need to find your current maintenance calories. Once you find that out, then if you want to lose weight and go to a deficit, then you reduce your calories by 10 to 15%. And then you'll lose your weight, and then your body's going to go through that metabolic adaptation. Then you can cut a little bit more, and you do that systemically over a period of time. But you have to do it strategically. You don't do it all at once. You just do it in phases, and that's what I teach my clients to do. But so it's just a lot about education and knowing the science behind it. And I may be rambling a little bit, but
no, this
I'm not
is great.
making a little
Super interesting.
No, this is good for me.
But the lifting weights is huge. And let's talk about TDEE. Does everyone know what TDEE is?
Total daily energy expenditure.
Boom. Look at him. Let's go.
Teacher's pet.
So why is muscle important? So your body has, expends energy. Most people think it's in the gym. It's not. You only expend 10 to 15% of your daily caloric expenditure in the gym. And I don't care if you're doing CrossFit. It doesn't matter. That's all you're doing. Okay. You've seen it when you run or whatever. You're like, oh, that's only 300 calories, or whatever it is.
Come spend 3 hours in jiu-jitsu. It's
maybe, okay, fair enough. But still, it's a very small portion of your total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, your body is
65 to 70% of your expenditure is living, your organ function, breathing, living, being,
Yeah, if you have a base metabolic rate of like 2,000 or 2,500 calories, that's laying in bed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like when I do my math, I did that. Whatever that app is that you told me about, like mine says like 2,250 was just my normal. I'm like, I can eat that many calories. This is great.
Yeah. Well, and that's why muscle is important.
Yeah.
Because guess what?
Burns more.
It's metabolically active. That's why you need to build muscle, because I can, for example, I eat around 3,000 calories a day to stay at 11% body fat. Well, that's because I have muscle mass, right? And so I can do that because I'm sending the right signals to my body. I am lifting heavy weights, so the body's like, heck, he needs muscle. Whatever he's doing, I need muscle to do this because I have to, I have to survive, right? And then I'm giving it the appropriate nutrition, and then I'm doing the appropriate recovery. That's the key. That's the secret sauce. And so that's what I teach my clients. But a lot of people think that it's in the gym. No, your energy expenditure is living. Most of your calories is from living and fidgeting and walking. That's why I tell my clients to walk. Walk, eat clean, lift weights, sleep.
The walk, so just basic movement. I know that was a huge thing, the 10,000 steps. And we talked about that, and I didn't realize the importance of just walking.
No, dude. If you would have told me 5 years ago that walking was one of the best forms of exercise that you can do, I would have laughed in your face, period. I would have laughed at you. And I'm telling you, the researchers Google it, do whatever you want with it. Walking is the most health beneficial form of exercise that you can do. It's good for digestion. It's good for mental health. It's good to regulate your insulin levels. Like, for example, after you eat, if you just take a walk for 10, I don't even say it has to be long, 15-minute walk right after you eat is huge in terms of your digestion and keeping your insulin regulated. Yeah, it's neat.
Before you realized the importance of walking, you would have thought that walking, in the air quotes here, would have needed to be like a run or a jog or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
that's what
for sure. Or Stairmaster.
Yeah,
or
something
whatever.
with some intensity behind it.
Dude, I shouldn't say I never do cardio. If I do, it's
In
hit.
true meathead fashion, he never does cardio.
I don't. Not very often. I walk every day for the last, I think I have 7 million steps in 3 years. I think it shows on there. Maybe that's too many. It's a lot. I mean, I have for 3 years, every day, 365 days. I don't care what the weather is, whatever I do it inside. I walk a minimum of 10,000 steps a day for the last 3 years.
Man, that's awesome.
And but I go once in a while. I do go to Mercy Park, and I will do high knees up the stairs, and I'll do like a hit deal where I'll do that, and then I'll walk that top part, and then I'll walk back down and do that like 10 times or something like that. But that's the end of the cardio. I probably should do more, but I don't want to.
I remember I asked you when the 10,000 steps was something you wanted me doing. I was like, what intensity do I need to be doing these 10,000 steps at? And you were like, 1 foot in front of the other, brother. That was your answer. That's a verbatim quote. 1 foot in front of the other, brother. That's all, huh?
Yeah.
Just put 1 foot in front of the other.
Movement is key.
It's such an easy, it's relaxing.
It's
I enjoy going
good for you. It's good for your mental health. I mean, especially law enforcement, I don't know. It just clears your mind. It's good. It's just good for you.
Well, and back to the cortisol, the recovery.
Yep.
That's a lever that I haven't figured out how to pull yet. The recovery portion of things, like my sleep is not, it's not good.
Well, let's talk about that just for a second. So with the exception of tonight, I go to sleep at the same time every day, but for the most part. So your body really likes routine. The more routine you can give your body, the better.
Yeah.
And so going to sleep at the same time is super important. That helps. Being very cool, like a real cool, super dark. The other thing at night, eat before you go to bed, like an hour, preferably 2 to 3 hours before to bed. Don't consume food, and get off the phones.
I've got a lot of that screwed up.
That'll screw you up. Yeah, for sure. That'll screw you up. So if you do those little things, so I try to put my phone down an hour before I go to bed, and it seems to help.
So mine isn't always falling. I know his is more like falling asleep, but like mine is, I can fall asleep, but then there's that like sleep for 2-3-ish hours, and I'm getting older. Apparently, I wake up, I pee, and then I can't fall back asleep, and then my mind starts going like, how do you convince your body to regulate that? I've started Jocko his sleep stuff if I'm not on call, because it knocks me out hard.
Yeah, magnesium is also a good sleep agent. I
so
don't
not
use
the melatonin or any of those.
Well, you can do melatonin too, but magnesium helps with sleep. Studies have showed that. Part of it is you also do shift work, or do you?
No.
Oh, okay. You don't do it anymore.
No.
Okay, because
banker's hours now.
Banker's hours. All right. Yeah. But I mean, I'm the same way. I try to get 7 hours, but as I get older, my prostate must be bigger or whatever, because I go to the bathroom a lot. I also drink a lot of water too, but I usually have to go to the bathroom twice a night.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm up, but I'm usually pretty good about getting sleep. I've never had a sleeping problem. Even if I was in a stress or was fighting with, my girlfriend or my wife or whatever, my go-to is go to sleep, which pisses her off because she doesn't she can't go to sleep, which is bad.
So my thing that I have screwed up about it is the way I eat, Like you said, I remember you said you got most of your food in by like 3:00 in the afternoon. You're largely done eating by 3.
Well, dude, he said when he first came down here, he gets 1,000 calories for breakfast.
Breakfast.
You want to know what I eat for breakfast?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
I have 1 avocado, 3 whole eggs, a cup of egg whites, a cup of low-fat cottage cheese, and 2 slices of Ezekiel bread.
That's a meal.
That'll get you.
That's a lot of food.
That's a lot of food.
Yeah. And do you do that before you lift or
No,
after?
I do it after.
After? Okay.
Yeah. So before I lift, I get up and I have a little concoction that I put in my coffee. It's collagen, protein. I do my creatine. And have you heard of Element?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I do
electrolyte.
Element.
Yeah,
Electrolyte?
electrolyte. I do electrolyte. I have this salted caramel. I
Yeah.
put in my coffee. It's bomb. So I have that, and then I'll have a banana just for energy.
Yep.
Okay, have something in my stomach, and then I'll, like I said, I'll lift. My gym session's usually an hour, and then I walk for about 30 minutes after that, and then I come home, and that's when I eat the meal, and I have that every day. I mean, I'll switch it up with oatmeal once in a while, but right now I'm on this kick of that. I love it. And then mid-morning I'll have a protein shake and an apple. At lunch I'll have, to your point, I try to get most of my calories in. Lunch I have some type of protein, fish, chicken, beef, steak, a carb of some sort, complex carb like rice or sweet potatoes, and then I have broccoli or some type of vegetable. And then in the afternoon I have another protein shake. Sometimes I'll have some almonds, just depends, or whatever. And then in the evening, since I've already lifted, because I'm all about carb timing, I try to keep my carbs in, right around in my lifting and all that. So I don't have hardly any carbs at night. I have a protein and a vegetable at night, and then I call it quits. That's kind of where I am.
So I typically end up playing catch up with my calories at night.
Well, and that's why I really emphasize with my clients to eat a really good, solid breakfast, and and I try to shoot for 50. I try not. It's really hard to not have to, tell my clients what I do, because I know I eat a lot of food. But I really try to get them to eat at least 50 grams of protein at each meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Because if you don't, you're going to play, to your point, you're going to play catch up at night. And usually I don't want my clients eating a bunch at night. It's not that it's necessarily bad, but now you're inactive. You're going to bed, you're going to be sleeping and all that. I like to have my clients eat it most of while they're active, moving around and doing stuff, whether it's work or whatever.
So I tend to lift in the evenings, and jujitsu's in the evenings. And I did this purposely, and it probably wasn't the best plan. But like after jujitsu, especially after jujitsu, you get 5-6 rounds in of that, and I'm absolutely freaking smoked whenever I get home, like exhausted and starving. So I would I wouldn't eat quite such a big lunch or whatever. And then pre-jiu-jitsu, I'd have like a small protein shake and then a banana with some honey on it and some salt. That was right before jiu-jitsu. And then, but I would still have like 700 calories left. I've eaten 1,200 calories at this point in the day, and I got like 500 to 700 calories left for post-jiu-jitsu. And then I would come home and eat a big meal after jiu-jitsu, which in itself probably isn't that big of a deal, but then I'm going to bed, You're
probably okay. I mean, your situation is, opposite of mine. I'm in the morning, you're in the evening. But you need to make sure you watch your energy, because if you're feeling sluggish and things like that, you're not giving yourself the necessary nutrients that you need to get through your jiu-jitsu workout.
No, I feel great. I just question, like, my body going through the digestion while I'm sleeping, is that affecting my sleep?
If you're eating and then you're going straight to bed,
that's basically what happens.
Yeah. It can have an impact. Everyone's different, but typically not eating a big meal is ideal.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm
before you go to
terrible
bed.
guilty of eating my biggest meal in the evening.
Yeah, I mean,
But here's the other thing I tell myself too, like I just try to like keep it simple. Like I'm doing better than I was, right? Like I'm not eating trash. I haven't eaten a fast food meal in months.
That's
you
big.
know. Am I timing everything perfectly? No. But
Well, I think you can get, you know, you talk about simplicity. I mean, you don't overcomplicate it.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, do you want to try? And it's mostly from a performance standpoint, right? Like, for example, timing carbs. That's a pure performance issue, right? You need carbohydrates. I mean, you know, I'm not against, you know, keto and carnivore and whatever. But having your carbs around your workouts helps fuel your performance. Obviously,
I've noticed a huge
both
difference
before
with
and
that.
after, because you know, but after it shuttles the you know, aminos into your system. That's what the carbs do. Obviously, it, you know, gives you glycogen for your, you know, energy levels and that type of thing. But yeah, you're fine. It's a, like I say, it's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about it. I have noticed a difference in performance when I started timing
Oh, it's huge.
like a banana with some honey on it,
Yep.
like 45 minutes before jiu-jitsu was when I went from, and obviously I'd lost some weight, which made a difference too, but I went from being able to spar like 2 or 3 rounds a night. You were there for it.
yeah,
And then I was like,
one or
I'm-
two, and then like having a gap between them, or maybe a third, and you were pretty wiped.
Yeah. And now it's 6 or 8 rounds a night.
Well, and you're
And-
picking the right carb too. You're picking quick, you know, absorption, you know, bananas, fruit, honey for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's almost sugar. So that's getting shuttled to where you need it into your muscles immediately, as opposed to something that's complex, you know, that's going to take longer to get in there.
I eat a potato during the day, like a red potato, usually like 250 grams of a red potato that I air fry with some ground turkey, avocado. Like that's kind of a normal lunch for me with Greek yogurt. It's almost like a taco bowl, right? So I get the potato. So I've got carbs earlier in the day, but then the fast carbs right before class.
Perfect.
And the performance difference is something that stuck with me. That was immediately noticeable when I started doing that.
Yeah, I need to get better at that. I neglect that. He harps on me all the time, like, dude, you just need to do it. I'm like, man, I got a 6-month-old baby. I'm trying to navigate everything, and it's really hard for me to do it. But I need to get better at that.
That's the thing that I've done that, and I would tell everybody this. You know, when somebody's paying you for your program and you're telling them do this, do this, do this, do this. I mean, it's like drinking through a fire hose, right? It was for me. I was like, God dang! Like,
You
there's
always mentioned it. You're like,
so much stuff to try to change, like all at once. And if you're paying for the program, you absolutely do it, like, or else you're not benefiting from your knowledge. And when I kind of got my head screwed on right for this go round, like I haven't probably done everything, but it was like, I'm going to get these things lined out, and I'm going to make those a habit. And then I'm going to add
But you already had
something.
the head knowledge, and then you're kind of able to put with it.
Implementing things
Yeah.
gradually until
Sure.
they become a habit, and then stack another habit and, you know, make it become a habit, and then stack something else until it becomes a habit. And now I feel like I've stacked a lot of healthy habits, and
and it shows.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going the right direction.
100%.
I'm going the right direction for sure.
I'm
I got a
hoping
long-
that you're going to let me use your pictures for
Yeah,
promotion.
do it. I mean, it's
It's
your knowledge.
wild.
Like it's 100% the stuff that.
Well, it's science.
And I get
Right.
your watered down knowledge from him, so
Yeah.
so you're really affecting both of us. Thank you so much
No.
for that.
Hey, you know what? To me, and I know you probably want to wrap it up, but
You're the one that has to go to sleep here.
yeah.
I'm going to the gym whenever we get done here.
Oh,
Like,
geez.
yeah.
To me, though, I don't care. I mean, I'm not quitting my day job. My mission, as it relates to this topic, is to get the information out there, and it makes my tail wag when like EADS and those guys, I mean, he's never been in the program, but he's using the concepts, you know, and we've had conversations and that. To see people transform their body like that is wild. I mean, especially him.
Oh,
dude,
man.
that
Dude,
guy,
unbelievable.
Man, after hip surgery and the whole, I mean, talk about going through adversity.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude. And so, props to him. But no, I mean, and that's why I put out the information on Facebook, you know, and free of charge,
Dude,
you know,
between your page and Ivan's page,
yeah,
if
so
a
everything
person
there
just pays attention, it's all there,
It's
minus
there.
the accountability.
Right.
Minus you being like, "Hey, stupid!" Like,
Right. What are you
know?
doing? Why aren't you recording this?
Right.
Well, so is that accountability? I know it's important for like us. So like jujitsu, it's super easy, and if you've been around any of us long enough, it's super easy to call in a day and be like, I don't want to get my ass kicked today.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Accountability just in jujitsu has been great for me. I did it years before these guys, and it was super easy to be like, nope, not going today.
Yeah.
But now that they're there, it's a simple text. I know every Tuesday we're going to get it of like, see you there. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go today. Man, it's been a
Right.
rough day at work. Oh, I got
Yep.
any excuse to stay here and do overtime or anything else or the baby or anything. Yeah, I'll be there. But accountability to them for jiu-jitsu, and then accountability, I got a couple of buddies that I get to work out with in the morning. Like, just even if nothing more than I walk in there, I head nod them and we fist bump. That's my deal. Like, all right, they knew I was there today.
Yeah.
Whether they show up or not, I'm there.
That's huge.
Is that big for like, how do you push that into your, and I'm trying to help you wrap up because I know you're
No,
probably super tired.
no, I'm fine.
How do you wrap that into your, into when you coach people? Is it like, hey, find accountability, or are they accountable to you, or how is it?
I am, and Matt can speak to this. I can see, I have a platform that I use where they have daily tasks that they have to complete. And if they don't complete the daily task, then I'm like, hey, you know, so they know that I'm watching, you know? And so that's kind of almost like the big brother in the background, you know, like 1984 type deal.
Yeah.
And so that's what, and for me on the accountability part, because I don't have anybody holding me accountable at all. But in a way, my clients hold me accountable because I'm not a type of person that doesn't practice what he preaches. I'm not going to sit there and go out there and put it on Facebook about, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, and then I don't do
When
it.
you're hitting snooze every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's integrity, you know, and that's all we have is our integrity. And so that's what holds me accountable. And that's, maybe it's purposeful. I mean, obviously I'm trying to help other people, you know, too, but then it also holds me accountable because I'm out there putting my name out saying I'm doing this and, hey, you need to be doing that. And then if I'm not doing it, then that's an integrity problem. And I'm not into that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So something real basic. Obviously, it's getting close to time to wrap it up. No. Somebody's 30, 40 pounds overweight, and they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
What
would I tell them to do?
Yep.
If they didn't want to coach?
Yeah. Obviously, and we're going to get to that. Obviously, hire Erik Theis, but just somebody at home, like, and they're going to try to crank it out on their own. Like, where do they start?
Start with a diet. You know, what are you eating? What are you consuming? If I always tell my clients, and maybe I've told you, if you can't pronounce the ingredients or you don't know what the ingredients mean, you shouldn't be eating it. So I would start with and incrementally, whether that is, to your point, you know, if you're drinking, you know, 2 liters of pop every day, cut the pop out, start there. You know, and then you can, you know, progress from that. But walking, man, if there's like somebody, if you're asking me someone that's 30 pounds, 45, 50 pounds, whatever, that's never seen a gym in their whole life and they're just eating whatever and sitting around, I would start with, you know, cut out sugar, walk. That's where I'd start somebody like that.
That simple, that basic.
That simple.
Life changing.
I guarantee you that if you did, if a person that didn't exercise and ate like crap and whatever would just walk 10,000 steps a day and clean up at least a little bit no eating fast food and no sugar, you would lose. I bet you they'd lose 30 pounds. Matter of fact, I have a client that he's not a big gym guy. We have some things that we're working with him on that because he's a owner, business owner, and he's super busy and he's constantly traveling and all that. So I have him doing some calisthenics and stuff that you can do at home. But he's lost tons of weight just by walking. Tons. I mean, it's huge.
Now, if they want to get serious about it,
call me.
And they want to coach.
Yeah.
Tell us about your business.
So my business is Anvil Strength and Wellness, and my nickname was Anvil in high school. That's always been my nickname.
I wondered where it came from.
That was my nickname. I've always had a flat top, so that's where
not
that came
because you
from.
were dumb or anything.
No,
Okay,
well,
right.
I don't know. It just depends on who you talk to, but so I have a business that my goal is, like I said, to make people better. And particularly men. My wife handles the females. Sometimes we do get some females that want to join the program. She handles that. She's also a certified personal trainer and certified nutritional coach through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. And so women have a little bit of different things going on with hormonal stuff and things, and so she can handle that. But for guys, everything in my program is set up for you, nutritionally, and all I ask you to do is follow my directions and follow the program and communicate with me. Communication is a huge deal because I understand that there are barriers in people's lives. People have lives and things that come up and whatever, and communicate with me how they're feeling and how they're progressing and all that. My program's all online. However, I'm accessible 24/7. I mean, you can send me a message unless I'm asleep. I have a caveat. After 8:00, it'll be the next morning before I respond. But I respond within 12 hours.
But it'll be at 3:30 in the morning.
It may be at 3:30 in the morning when you're asleep, but I will respond to them. But it's interactive, and I do it from a place of, like I said, I'm not here to, make a $1 kajillion. And, there's a lot of people in the fitness industry that do that, peddle stuff to make money. And that's not my motivation. My motivation is to make people better. And if you want to make that step, if you want to, get started and you don't know where to begin, reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. You can email me at Anvil, ANVIL 2272 @gmail.com.
What are you bringing to the table in terms of setting a program up for somebody?
You mean
what? So are you building workouts for them? Are you doing diet plans for them? Are you?
So I don't tell, I tell my clients what they can eat. I do have recipes available if they want, but I mean, everyone has their own, what they like to eat and that type of thing. So I give them the foods that they can eat. And I tell them, I set up how many calories that they need to be consuming. So I do a calculation, and, kind of like what we talked about, figuring out what their maintenance calories are and then work into a caloric deficit. But I set them up with that. I have some recipes. I also set them up with their programming in terms of their weight training is concerned. And we do those in 6-week cycles. And the reason why I do it every 6 weeks, I change it up because we don't want the muscles to adapt to the stimulus that we're trying to create. So I keep that fresh for them. I keep it pretty simple. Like I said, it's nothing fancy, but it works. And I guarantee you, if you follow what I tell you to do, that you will change your body. And you, not only that, but all my clients now that I've been doing this now for 1.5 years, I calculated it up. I think I'm close to 700 pounds that collectively my clients have lost in 1.5 years. Not only that, but their health markers have improved, their blood work, cholesterol, those types of things. So the benefits are not just how you look, but it's going to be how you feel. And that's important to me. And so, yeah, that's the program. that you can get from me if you decide to join.
And I can say, for people listening, you can hear him say it, and it's all the truth. Get on his Facebook page, get on Anvil Strength and Wellness, and look at the Facebook page. It's the whole picture's worth 1,000 words thing. You can scroll until your thumb gets tired of scrolling and look at the pictures of your clients.
Yeah.
And it's dude after dude after dude after dude that was, overweight, out of shape, not feeling good. And they, at some point in your program, submit a progress picture to you where they're jacked, or they look completely different. Yeah, once you get on the Facebook page and see the results that you're getting for your clients, I mean, you're crazy if you want to coach and they don't call you,
Well, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, your program's, it's legit.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
So the big question.
Yeah.
Why do you do what you do? Because I will tell you, I'll give you a quick caveat of what I've seen so far. You want to help people. I believe that you're just a short talk. Your faith has something to do with that. You're a husband, a dad, a granddad, and you literally help people all day, every day. And then you chose to take your time off to help more people.
Yeah.
So why do that? Why are you interested in helping people?
Man, I just have, I don't know. I can't explain it. I just have this fire inside me that I just want to leave this world a better place than after I leave this world or whatever. I just want to have that impact on somebody's life in a positive way, not because it's for me, but for them, because I know, particularly when it comes to whether it's my work or whether it's this fitness thing, I just want people to be whole and well and thriving, because if we all work together and do that in our sphere of influence, what could we do to change the world? I mean, that's the bottom line.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you personally, like I said, I've gotten watered down knowledge from you, third hand hearsay at this point from Matt, and it's helped me tremendously. I am probably gym stupid. I grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
I got strong from lifting things on a farm,
Sure.
and I'm gym stupid, absolutely. He's helped me, and by proxy, you've helped me. More important than that, you've helped me keep my friend around for a lot longer. Like for
Yes.
real, this guy added years onto his life.
Oh, man.
That was a comment that got made at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Actually, was one of the guys, we were talking about training, and I don't remember what the exact context of the discussion was. We were talking about fitness or whatever, and I kind of made a joke about still being fat or whatever, and he was like, dude, you've added years to your life.
100%.
100% he has.
Yeah,
I feel like
absolutely,
that's the,
Your body's telling you something.
yeah.
Your body does tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's going to tell you whether it's like I'm sick. I mean, dude, I have not been sick since COVID. I had COVID. I got COVID in 2020. I have not been sick since. Not once. I can't think. I never a cold, never a flu, never a nothing. I mean, and so now, granted, I'm not around kids and stuff, but I mean, I have my grandkids and stuff once in a while and whatever. And I'm obviously in the environment that I'm at, sports and stuff. But I don't get sick, and that's because my body is working at an optimal level, and that's what I want I want everybody to experience that.
How cool would that be if everybody could get healthy, that we drove Big Pharma out?
The world would be an entirely different place.
Right?
Yeah. And the other group, I don't know. I forgot to tell you this. I'm teaching at the academy.
Are you really?
Nutrition.
Good.
Oh,
good.
dude,
Like,
somebody needs to.
Good.
Oh yeah, I did.
Good.
And I went in there. They had their monster drinks and all that stuff.
It's first form. Come on. It's healthy.
It's so, I went in there like it was kind of weird because they all got chin hut, and I was like, dude, what's going on in here? And I was like, okay, guys, I guess they have to do that. But, but anyway, I told them, I said, and this is the truth, and this is how I started off. I said, I'm paraphrasing here, but I said, you guys are warriors. You have picked a profession where you are going into danger. I mean, that's what you're doing. right? And I said, therefore, you should be mentally and physically prepared to do that, because if not, you're a liability.
Yeah.
You're a liability to yourself. You're a liability to your family. You're a liability to the department. You're a liability to the other guy that's working on the street with you. And you're a liability to the community.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And I do believe that 100%. And so they were like, well, looking at me, and I'm like, I'm dead serious. I mean, it may not happen today, but it does happen. And you got to be able to deal with it. And then I segued into, what, kind of things that we talked about today, lifting weights and eating healthy, and, bringing your food with you, and you can go into the convenience store and microwave it or whatever, make it happen, quit eating junk, quit eating crap.
And I think me and Matt probably I for sure do. I unapologetically stick up for cops, whether they're right, they're wrong, they're indifferent, because I know it's a shitty profession. For someone who feels like they want to help people, it puts your family at a disadvantage because they never see you. Not so much me anymore, but guys walk up on unknown traffic stops every day. That's their day. They run to people that are fighting, never see people on a good day. We chase cortisol because we're always in fight or flight. Everybody's out to hurt us. So, yeah, we're already set up for failure. We work crappy hours. We eat crappy food because that's what's open. And then we're lazy because sometimes easy is just easy. So we're kind of set up for failure. So, man, someone that's willing to kind of take that sword and go help cops, thank you so much for doing that, man.
No, man, because like I say, I've talked with, like I say, I have a lot of friends in the profession, and you talk about the fight or flight and the impact mentally that you have. That's a visceral response. That's a systemic response when you get into the fight or flight, and you're forced to go into that. And the mental component behind that is huge. That's got, that can have a lot of impact on somebody's mental health, when you're constantly doing that day in, day out. And so when you're not feeding your body correctly, and you're doing that on top of, to your point, it's a problem. And that's why you have suicides the way you do. And that's why you have, obesity and all that, in the profession and stuff. And so, I'm hopeful that, my continual work with that, I'm doing it again this fall, right? Yeah, it's fall. And so, I hope that they have me continue to do that, because it's a super important thing. I mean, I'm passionate about it, but I'm really passionate about it when it comes to cops and stuff. And I give discounts for law enforcement that join my program. And, I've had a couple that have done it.
The profession needs it.
Everyone needs it, but particularly if you're picking a job where you're going that you're going to go into danger, you need to be ready. You guys get the training and all that and stuff, but you got to be ready physically to do that, because
look around.
You can.
You see the guys showing up in uniform. You know who the cops are.
Yeah. And it's a very sad point. We've had to lower the standards because nobody wants to be it anymore.
Right.
And when you lower the standards, you get what you get.
Yep. And that's not only with you guys.
It's everywhere.
It's
but it's not acceptable.
No.
In law enforcement,
it's just more dangerous for law enforcement
responders. Yeah.
And it's frustrating because I look at somebody who's, 8 pounds of shark shit shoved into a 5-pound bag, and I'm like, you're going to be the guy that goes and helps my family.
Yeah.
It sucks because I was there too, right?
Sure. Well, and I was telling these guys, they're young kids, and everything, coming out of college or whatever. Some of them were older, but I said to him, look, you're not going to run into a guy like me that says yes, sir, and no, sir, and all that kind of stuff. I don't have contact with you people ever. Yeah. So the type of people like me are not the people that you're going to be running into. You're going to be running into the other people that don't care and are on drugs and whatever, and don't care if you're wearing a badge or not, and and all that. And so, just understand what you're getting yourself into, Hopefully I didn't run any of them away, but it's the truth.
If you did, you did.
Yeah, if you did, it was probably good for them to get out now.
Yeah. because I think that they get the wrong impression with just because you put a badge on and you have a gun that people are going to listen to you.
Boy, that is not the
That's
case.
not what happens. And I haven't done the job, but I know that doesn't happen.
Yeah, they would have a rude awakening in store for them.
Yeah.
Eric, I appreciate you coming
Yeah.
and visiting with us.
Man, it's been a
Thank
pleasure,
you
guys.
so much.
Appreciate it. What an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you for, the knowledge that you put out there for everybody, and honestly, what you've done for me personally with it kind of cliche or whatever, but I've seen it, people talk about it on Facebook. Like, I'm not trying to add years to the end of my life. I'm trying to add life to the end of my years kind of thing, And we had another guy on here that he talks about fitness after 40, and he has a hashtag of stay capable. In his second half of life, he's kind of had that realization that he's in his 40s now and he's on the back nine, and he wants to remain physically capable, and that's his pursuit, and kind of doing the same thing. I feel like since I've started taking your advice seriously, that I've reverse aged probably 15 years.
Oh,
I feel like I did when I would say 30, and I'll be 47 in September. And I know also that I haven't, experienced the max benefit of where I'm going. I know it's going to continue to get better for a while. I can't wait to see, what I'm like at 47, 48.
How cool is it going to be to keep spinning that odometer backwards?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately it is to an extent,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll never be 20 again, but I'll be better at 50 than I was at 35.
Awesome.
And that's because of the stuff that you put out here for us, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Dude, thanks for talking to us.
Yeah.
Thanks for helping people the way that you do. You may not hear that from cops for sure, but thanks for helping people.
They do tell me.
Yeah.
They think I'm a peach.
And helping kids. And, man, just what you're doing out there, helping cops and helping just normal people. So thanks so much. Thanks for coming here.
I appreciate it. Appreciate the service you guys do, man. You guys have a very important role. So
Plug your stuff one more time.
Yeah.
So it's Anvil Strength and Wellness. You can catch me on Facebook, and you can email me at anvil2272@gmail.com.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Thanks.